Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mary Monroe Brown, Director of the Wisconsin Office of Outdoor Recreation, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. I'd like to thank you for joining us for Attracting Workers with Wisconsin Outdoors. We know hiring continues to be a challenge, and we're excited to share with you a new resource to assist you in your talent attraction and recruitment efforts. A bit of housekeeping before we begin. The webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to all registered attendees. Our staff will be monitoring the chat and QA functions. So if you have questions for any of the presenters or about today's topic, please drop it in the QA function and we'll do our best to address those questions at the end. Now to begin the conversation. We're thrilled to welcome our three presenters who will help us understand the current workforce landscape in the outdoor recreation industry on a national level, as well as the challenges and opportunities for facing Wisconsin businesses and organizations. First, we'll hear from Chris Perkins, Senior Advisor at the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable, the National Coalition of Outdoor Recreation Trade Associations, who will share key takeaways from two of their recent collaborative efforts, a report on career opportunities in the outdoor industry and an outdoor industry workforce assessment. Then we'll hear from Sam Rikkers, COO and Deputy Secretary for the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Sam will give an overview of the current job landscapes in Wisconsin, as well as how WEDC works to attract residents and businesses to Wisconsin and ways they've utilized recreation as a major selling point in their recruitment strategies. We'll also get a business perspective from Scott Forristall, CEO of St. Croix. Scott will share how their company is addressing the hiring challenges they've recently faced and how they have also utilized Wisconsin's outdoor recreation assets in their recruitment strategy. Then we'll debut the new tool, Live and Work Where You Play, outside in Wisconsin, and provide details on how you can add it to your talent attraction toolbox. So let's dive in. I'll turn it over to Chris Perkins for the national perspective. Chris?
Well, thank you, Mary. It is such a pleasure to join a great Wisconsin company today and showcase some of our recent work to highlight diverse career paths in the outdoor recreation economy, as well as new resources to support the growing outdoor workforce. My name is Chris Perkins. I'm a Senior Director at the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable. We're the leading coalition of outdoor recreation trade associations, so over 35 trade associations representing 110,000 businesses across the $689 billion outdoor recreation industry. And just looking at these logos, you can see our members represent the full spectrum of recreation activities, from hiking, biking, skiing, climbing, hunting, fishing, boating, motorized, RV, hospitality, you name it. And I wanted to start today with the news. If you, like me, have been following what the past couple of years have meant for outdoor recreation, you've seen that we are looking at a fundamentally different landscape for recreation than ever before. Across the country and at the federal level, elected officials are investing in outdoor recreation infrastructure and access like never before. And we can attribute this to a few things, but none more important than the pandemic, which has pushed people to the outdoors like never before in search of safe, close to home activities with family and loved ones. So with millions more in the outdoors than ever before, I would say that it's a better time to work in the outdoor recreation economy than ever before. And I think that's a great motivator for today's conversation. And just to put this economy into perspective nationally, I wanted to share these statistics from the US Bureau of Economic Analysis Outdoor Recreation Satellite Account. And like I just mentioned, they measure the outdoor recreation economy and estimate that it's a $689 billion industry nationwide, generating 4.3 million American jobs, or 3% of employment overall. And in Wisconsin in particular, the story is no different. Sam will get into this a bit in his presentation. The outdoor industry is a huge component of the state's economic mix. It generates $7.8 billion in value added and over 87,000 jobs. And you can also see the top activities across the state, which are perhaps no surprise given the great mix of trails and waterways you all are so lucky to enjoy. And this industry is on the rise. This chart shows growth in segments of the recreation economy during the first year of the pandemic. And remember, this is a time when many segments of the economy were shut down due to supply chain issues. And because of this growth, some estimate as many as 1 to 2 million new jobs in the next 10 years will be hired in outdoor recreation. And we're all here because we know that outdoor recreation isn't just a nice to have. It contributes to economic resilience for communities around the United States, from new residents and businesses to revitalized Main Street and healthcare savings as residents enjoy the health benefits of time outside. And now, with new remote or hybrid work opportunities, more talent is relocating to locations with great access to outdoor recreation, including those in the state of Wisconsin. And I should underscore here that in this new COVID context, when we invest in outdoor recreation, we're not just investing in outdoor recreation jobs alone. As remote work opportunities arise, companies across industries are recognizing that their employees want a work-life balance. And this survey of tech sector workers in Utah is a perfect example. They asked workers who were returning to the state and said, "Why are you coming back to Utah to work in technology?" And 85% said that the top reason was access to the outdoors. And number 2 was family. And mind you, this is in Utah. So in Wisconsin, the same link is applicable, particularly related to opportunities in the tech and aerospace sectors. So who works in the outdoor recreation industry? This helpful graphic is a good place to start. It defines the types of recreation organizations that fall into the public, private, and NGO sectors. And I think when you ask someone off the street to tell you what an outdoor recreation job is, they're likely to tell you about participant-facing roles that they see most often, the guides or the outfitters or the retail employees that make for high-quality recreation experiences. But I wonder if they know about the full diversity of jobs that sustain this industry, especially those that are behind the scenes, whether they be RV technicians or recreation managers, or people with advanced business analytics skills, or ski lift technicians, or many, many others. And I think we have an opportunity here to fill in the gaps for prospective talent, to help them understand that their skills, whatever they might be and wherever they might have been acquired, those skills are applicable in the outdoor industry, and we need them. People with trade skills, people with business degrees, people who haven't even spent much time outdoors, they all belong in the outdoor industry. And so ORR published a report earlier this year that organizes outdoor recreation jobs into new categories for the first time, based on the unique skills and traits of the job holder. So these categories, technical specialists, participant-facing, and integrators, help illustrate the wide diversity of outdoor jobs that help connect people to places and generate meaningful careers. And we also created a new career path module developed in partnership with Oregon State University. And here you can learn firsthand from outdoor professionals in diverse roles about how they got there, what they do, what they like about their work-life balance, as well as advice for the next generation of the outdoor workforce. And one of my favorite stories from this module is that of Tim Scott, who's in the bottom left. Tim is a level 3 RV technician. He hadn't spent much time in the outdoors before working in this industry. And now he enjoys the opportunity to put his trade skills to work with a lifestyle and salary that supports his quality of life and his family. And lastly, today, I want to share some key takeaways from a workforce survey of industry leaders that ORR helped facilitate with the Oregon State University Center for the Outdoor Recreation Economy and Outdoor Industry Association. And this survey focused on both workforce needs as well as DEI initiatives across companies. And during the Q&A, I'm happy to share some opportunities that arise from these findings. So the first key takeaway is that the industry expects to hire for a high volume of entry and skilled professional positions over the next year. The second is that the largest barriers to recruiting hard-to-fill jobs are finding qualified applicants and the lack of affordable housing options proximal to certain job locations. Third is that outdoor companies are prioritizing flexible work arrangements and work-life balance as attraction and retention strategies. And fourth, on the DEI front, companies who have a diversity plan in place are utilizing a wide variety of methods and tactics to achieve their goals. But those that do not currently have a diversity plan in place largely do not plan to implement one or do not know where to start. So these takeaways offer a lot of conversation for the industry in the future. And like I said, I'm happy to touch more on it in the Q&A, and very grateful to have been invited to join you all in Wisconsin today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. That was wonderful. With that national context, let's hear about what's happening in Wisconsin from WEDC's COO and Deputy Secretary, Sam Rikkers. Sam?
Thanks, Mary. Gosh, it's tough to follow Chris just because that was so interesting, Chris, valuable for our work at WDC, some of the information you shared. Thanks for that. I'm super happy to be here, and thanks to the Office of Outdoor Recreation. The timing of this webinar couldn't be more ideal, right? In Wisconsin, Wisconsinites, this is the sweet spot of the year. We are packing away our camp gear. We are packing away our kayaks and canoes. You might be swapping out some of your fishing rods for some of your ice fishing rods. And we're digging out our skis and our snowshoes. And we're doing that during this time when we can find a break, because when we're inside, when we're not inside, we are out in our trails. And if folks are on this webinar not in Wisconsin, you should come here because our state is peaking right now. The colors of our trees are just booming. It's awesome. I was born and raised in Wisconsin. As Wisconsinites, we often take the outdoor recreational opportunities for granted. It's because it's part of kind of who we are. But at a time when every state is really competing for workers, not just to bring them here, but to retain them, we have a competitive advantage in Wisconsin, and that's the quality of life that we offer. Wisconsin's workforce challenges, they're not unique. There are a bunch of other states that are grappling with the same shortages to fill critical jobs. But in Wisconsin, these challenges that you see here on the slide, they're in large part a testament to the strength of our economy. Unemployment in Wisconsin, it's at record lows. It's awesome. And we recently, this just came out a couple of weeks ago, we recently saw the fewest number of new applications for unemployment compensation since 1987. I like to let that sink in. Since 1987, we haven't seen fewer unemployment applications in our state. More importantly, probably, is that Wisconsin also has one of the highest labor participation rates in the entire country. What does this mean? That means that Wisconsin has the bigger share of those folks that are working age that actually have jobs than any other state in the country. But here's the upshot of this strength in our economy. It means that our state really needs to get creative and be creative about a comprehensive approach to attracting and retaining those workers. And so over the last couple of years, it's been clear that people are the key to the strength of our economy. And if we're going to get the best people, and when we get them, if we're going to retain them in our state, we have to offer the kind of quality of life and the things people want and that they need. And so that's been a really interesting, eye-opening process to go through the pandemic. We've learned in economic development that things like childcare, education, transportation, and I think businesses have learned this too, they aren't freestanding issues. These are keys to addressing our state's workforce needs. And so we're focusing on these issues through one of our avenues. We've had a program called the Workforce Innovation Grant Program. We have invested as a state $128 million across 27 regional projects that are really grassroots answers to on-the-ground workforce challenges. It's, for instance, just providing college scholarships to rural high school students who are graduating and want to be teachers. And what they do is they have to promise to come back to their rural communities and teach, or providing mobile training for workers who live far away from some of our tech schools to those workers that connect with the needs of our local employers. But it's also why we're partnering with the Office of Outdoor Recreation. We know that outdoor activities is really what makes Wisconsin one of the best places in the country to live, work, and also launch a business. And so WEDC has worked with the Office of Outdoor Recreation to create a pitch about Wisconsin's outdoor recreation lifestyle. It's part of attracting new businesses, but also attracting new workers. We collaborated on a booklet that I'm excited, I won't say much more about it, with the Office of Outdoor Recreation. You'll see it in a bit, that really highlights Wisconsin's outdoor activities. And we'll be using that booklet as part of our comprehensive campaign when we're attracting businesses and workers to Wisconsin. I guess I'll end with this. It's not just about attracting and retaining the workers, however. Outdoor recreations, they're a huge part of our economy. They are major drivers for our state. And so as we pitch our state to residents and newcomers, we also make sure we're highlighting the clout of those outdoor businesses that we have. One of our brand ambassadors, so WDC has a network of brand ambassadors that we use in out-of-state campaigns for folks to really know what Wisconsin's economy offers and know for workers what we have. One of those ambassadors is a gentleman named Ben Pop. He's of the American Birkebeiner ski race. The Birkie, like Trek bikes, like Harley Davidson, and indeed like St. Croix rods, they are uniquely Wisconsin. So on behalf of WDC, I really want to thank you, Mary, for organizing this, your whole office, Ben and Scott. Thanks a lot for hosting today's webinar, and really for all the folks here who are listening, the hard work that you're doing in your communities for Wisconsin to make it such a great place to work and live. I'll gladly hang on and look forward to hearing from Scott.
That's wonderful, Sam. Thank you so much. And you're so right about the ambassadors and what they do to reflect what's happening here in the state. We'd like to turn it over now to Scott Forristall, the CEO of St. Croix Rod, and hear what he's witnessed and how his team is handling recruitment. Scott?
Mary, thank you. Let me give you a little bit of background on St. Croix Rods to give you some perspective. We're located in Park Falls, Wisconsin. It's about 3.5 hours north of Minneapolis, about an hour south of Ashland, Wisconsin, and Lake Superior. The company was actually born from the idea of developing a way to transport long bamboo fishing poles, thus making the first multi-section fishing rod. From there, the company continued to innovate and develop new technology and materials for the past 74 years and has been a leader in the fishing tackle industry. Gordon Schluter purchased the company in 1965, and we're currently in our second generation of Schluter ownership, with his 3 sons and 1 daughter purchasing St. Croix from him in 1989. We are currently the second largest employer in Park Falls, Wisconsin. Under the Schluter's guidance, St. Croix has been known for high quality and high performance fishing rods. Every fishing rod here is touched by 32 hands in our factory. It's all handcrafted. The 60,000 square foot facility in Park Falls handles our US production and then also our full corporate staff. We do have a 40,000 square foot facility in Mexico, and just recently we opened a 40,000 square foot distribution center here in Park Falls to support the continued growth. In the last 3 years, we've grown 53%, and our current business plan expects us to grow another 50% in the next 5 years. The team here in Park Falls is 233 team members, 50 more than we had in 2019. The need for talent ranges from direct hourly production staff to professionals in marketing, sales, finance, and IT. One of the things that makes St. Croix unique is our culture in the Midwest work ethic. And as a company, we decided that to understand this brand and to present it in the fashion that we would like, you have to live here. You have to be part of the lifestyle. You have to grow to be part of the brand. While Park Falls is a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts, lakes for fishing, boating, hundreds of miles of trails and biking and snowmobiling, and of course, public land for hunting, recruiting and retaining staff has been challenging as we've had our tremendous growth. There are no name brand retailers in the area and no cultural attractions that would attract people from metropolitan areas for the professionals that we're looking for. So we had to start thinking outside the box. And one of the things we started off with was advertising in the outdoor job boards to attract people that wanted to live this lifestyle, the hunting, the fishing, the camping, and all of that. When Mary at the Office of Outdoor Recreation for Wisconsin first met with us, one of the topics we discussed was, how do we attract talent to the area? How do we attract people that want to live this lifestyle? And with that, we actually started using an outside recruiter, and with Mary's help with their website, we started having the recruiter direct the people, our potential candidates, to the outdoor website. Recently, we've had the pleasure to help the office with a booklet and offer suggestions that our HR and recruiting team found would be most helpful. We're very excited to utilize this booklet and enhance our business recruiting process as we go forward. So with that, that gives a little bit of background about us and the new tools. And I imagine, Mary, you're now going to introduce this new tool.
I am. That was a perfect lead-in, Scott. Thank you. Thank you so much to all of our presenters for sharing your expertise and perspectives and setting up the context behind this new resource that we're thrilled to be able to provide, introduce, and roll out today. Live and Work Where You Play Outside in Wisconsin is a 16-page, visually appealing publication complete with tons of beauty shots of Wisconsin's outdoor recreation offerings and with a compelling message about the outdoor lifestyle and industry. It's a roundup of the proof points that showcase Wisconsin's remarkable outdoors and reveal the variety of opportunities that they provide. Let's take a quick look on what's inside. Included is a note from the Wisconsin Office of Outdoor Recreation about Wisconsin's deep roots in outdoor recreation, as Sam discussed, the lifestyle and the industry. Placed throughout are testimonials from professionals and residents who have chosen to have their business in Wisconsin or who have chosen to move here because of the outdoor recreation offerings, as well as examples of companies investing in outdoor recreation infrastructure for their employees. There's a page on the scope of our $7.8 billion outdoor industry that Chris discussed, and there are several layouts that boast the countless outdoor recreation opportunities in Wisconsin, by land, by water, and snow, and a few notes on the rest of the Wisconsin lifestyle, including arts, music, and culture, as well as our fresh take on culinary and a few notable quality of life proof points, such as the affordable cost of living in Wisconsin. We also want to acknowledge our partners in this effort. Travel Wisconsin and WEDC have been collaborative in sharing resources and expertise to help make this a high quality, useful product. We also know that as the people consider relocation, they're going to seek additional information. Travel Wisconsin and WEDC are the perfect resource for the information gathering stage of that decision-making process. We'll show you how to get the booklet, but first we want to share our excitement around why we feel this publication will make a meaningful addition to your recruitment toolbox. We heard earlier from Chris that the outdoor recreation industry is growing and more jobs are on the horizon over the next several years. Studies have shown recreation counties or communities known for their outdoor recreation offerings, especially in rural areas, are more successful in attracting residents than non-recreation counties. That speaks to what Scott was talking about. And during the pandemic, as workers become more mobile, the Zoomtown phenomena struck predominantly in areas known for their wealth of outdoor recreation offerings, meaning outdoor recreation is a highly valued quality of life factor in decisions of residents and businesses considering relocation. And as workers are increasingly valuing their work-life balance and sense of well-being, outdoor recreation can be an incentive that helps employees achieve both. We're very excited to provide this complimentary resource for you, and we know that you'll want to share more about your specific businesses and location to make your pitch that much more relevant and compelling, so we'll help you customize it. There are 3 customizable features: inclusion of your logo on the front cover, the cover image, and a short message from your business organization in place of the testimonial on page 3. So getting the booklet is free and easy. You can download a high-resolution PDF of the booklet to use electronically right now. If you'd like to include printed copies, we'll provide you with a press-ready file you can print and distribute on your own. And if you choose to customize your booklet, our staff will work with you to collect the assets and provide you with the files needed. Just head to our website at outdoorrecreation.wi.gov. Navigate the Tools menu item, select Workforce Attraction Booklet, then click on the version you'd like, a high-resolution PDF for reviewing and electronic sharing, a press-ready file for your own printing and distribution, or a customized booklet. If you'd prefer to review a physical copy or need to share one with your team before printing your own, you may request a complimentary sample copy. After completing the request form for your revision, you may receive an email with a link to download the file type requested. If you're requesting a customizable booklet, our staff will be in touch to work with you on collecting the assets and creating your customized versions. Again, we'd like to thank our partners, Travel Wisconsin and WEDC, and especially today's presenters, Chris Perkins, Sam Rikkers, and Scott Forristall. We'll have just a few minutes for questions, so I'm going to ask my colleagues, Cassie and Kara, who have been monitoring the chat and QA features, to jump in.
Thanks, Mary. It looks like we just have a couple of questions, and we'll start with Chris. Could you share a little bit more about, you mentioned the key takeaways, but what about the opportunities that businesses can focus on?
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, I got to tell you, I was researching transportation options to Park Falls. That looks fantastic, and people would be foolish not to come join you at St. Croix. Business opportunities, and just give me one moment because the notes I had have fallen off the page. I have some notes directly to that question. So as you recall, there were 4 key takeaways on new hires, work-life balance, qualified applicants, and increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion. On the new hire front, there's an opportunity for businesses to add and elevate talent from unique backgrounds, perspectives, or non-traditional career paths to help reflect the changing face and interests of outdoor participants these days, many of whom are new to the outdoors. We don't need people who've spent 40 years in the outdoors, although of course they're core to this industry. We need fresh perspectives, people who've just gotten into the outdoors recently, who understand what it's like to get into the outdoors for the first time. We also need to train, upskill, and elevate current talent into higher level roles. On the work-life balance front, we need to recognize that remote work and hybrid work arrangements will become the norm in the outdoors, even after the COVID-19 pandemic has passed, and understand that flexible work arrangements and work-life balance as perks have limits and should not always be substituted for competitive wages and benefits packages, which are of course core to attracting talented employees. Lastly, we can consider collaborating with educational institutions to develop tailored programming to close skill gaps and create direct on-ramps from classroom to outdoor careers. So you could look at fly rod manufacturing, you could look at boat manufacturing, RV technicians. Where are the skill gaps that are needed, and how could existing academic programs help close them? And lastly, from the business front, we can get clear on which skills at our organization are absolutely necessary versus those that are nice to have or can be trained in the role.
That's helpful. Thank you, Chris. Great. Well, that's all the time we have today. If we were unable to address your questions, we will work to follow up with you directly, or please feel free to send us an email. We will also be emailing out a recording of the webinar. Thank you again to our presenters and to all who were able to join us live today. Have a great day, and thank you very much.